Hey guys, what's up? So this is something new for you. This is something I would not normally do on my channel, and I've never done before actually. I am going to build an amusement park with you guys. So I don't want my channel to be a gamer channel by any means, because I am far from being a good gamer. But I am a huge fan of roller coasters and simulation style games. So I have been playing this for a long time, and I've never shared anything that I've ever built or created with anyone. And it would be a good experience, I thought, to build a park with you guys. This is inside of Planet Coaster. This is a theme park simulation game which allows you to build roller coasters and buildings and theme parks and all that good fun stuff. And of course, most of you that are watching this because you know of Planet Coaster, you already know that, but a lot of the people on my channel that are already here may not know. So that is exactly what it is. I am a huge roller coaster fan, amusement park fan for sure. I absolutely love amusement parks. Of course, as many of you know, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, Disney is one of my key things. But with the latest expansion pack that they released, the DLC, which is the Vintage Park Pack, I decided I wanted to venture into the realm of making my own park. I am really a big fan of this theme. I love the vintage theme. I was really excited when I saw that, and I couldn't wait to get my hands on the pack itself. I started playing with it a little bit when it came out on the 10th, I believe it was, of July, and I got super excited about it, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I'm going to do creator videos. I watch a lot of creator videos online because I really love watching them, and I know, and you'll see as we go through this, I know my builds are not as detailed or as amazing or as awesome as some of the ones that are out there, but I still absolutely love doing it, and I love building. Typically, I build everything on here for myself. Most of the time, nobody ever sees them, but I thought, what the heck, why not? I will share my build and share with you this park that I wanted to build, which is going to be a pier park mixed with a boardwalk. So it's going to be a pier park that maybe did really well in the past, and it expanded to become a boardwalk as well. So the name of the park is Avalon Pier. I came up with this name just off of the whim of my head. I really like the name Avalon for some reason, and it just felt like it fit really well. So what you're watching right now is me working on a building. I will tell you, this building gets not scrapped, but I put it aside. I put it completely aside. I don't actually ever use this building in the first video, at least. I go through it because I'm still learning the pieces that came with the park, the new expansion. And so I'm still learning all the pieces and learning how I can use them and how they function. And so this design I was working on literally was just coming off the top of my head for a park gate entry. And I kind of liked it. And again, you'll see this piece again later in the episode. You'll see it further on into the video where I don't delete it. I'm one of those people that I don't delete pretty much anything that I build. I bring them back to life somehow and use them in some other faction. So there you can see there's a cut in some of the film because I was filming this on my lunch break originally, and I ran out of time. So what I did was I came back and started playing again later in the evening to go ahead and pick up on it. So I spent it took me probably an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, to build out this portion to get the park where the lake is at, because the lake, if you've ever played this game, it doesn't come with a lake of any kind, so you have to build it yourself and dig the hole and all of that. And so it took a while for me to dig that hole and get it where I wanted it. And so there was about an hour and a half worth of time spent getting this to where it is right now. And I really was kind of not feeling the vibe for this building. I don't know, it felt to me like it didn't fit with what I wanted. Now, I like I said, I did save it because it does have a good structure, good bones to it, and I could potentially reuse it for later on. So maybe the entrance to the boardwalk portion, I could reuse this building and change it around and make it a little more functionable for what I wanted. It was so bland that I didn't really like it, and I wanted to expand on it and make it a little more powerful. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. So here I am. I'm actually building the actual gate that I will end up using for my main entry. I actually left the Pier Park play area. I play on my laptop. I don't have a big computer or anything. So I'm playing on my laptop, and my laptop is not the strongest of laptops in the world. It runs the game just fine as long as there's not too much going on. Once there's a lot going on, it tends to slow everything down and crash a little bit. And so what I did is I tend to build anything, if I'm going to build a park on my own, a lot of times if I've got a lot of structures that's going to have detail in it, I'm going to build that outside of the main park and then blueprint it, which basically means I can, copy and paste it into the main park. So that's what I'm doing right now. Is I'm actually not in the main park anymore. I'm actually outside of that park, and I'm just in a blank level, sand lot, if you will, building the structure. As you can see, the color scheme changed a lot from that first color scheme till here, and that is because of the fact that I did a little research in between because I wanted it to be a very 1930s, 40s, Victorian-ish themed pier / park. And I know a lot of people are probably, since this came out, are immediately jumping in and doing pier parks and things. And that's where I wanted to be a little different and not only do a pier park, but expand, because a lot of the pier parks started as a pier park, but turned into boardwalks. They turned into larger areas that you could go, like the Santa Cruz, I think it is Santa Cruz Boardwalk. That has a pier, but it also has the boardwalk. And Brighton Beach, I believe, also has that, as well as Coney Island. I don't think Coney Island has a pier. I could be wrong. I don't remember. I haven't been to Coney Island in a long time, so I can't really remember. So here I am just playing with some of the new shapes, trying to get a feel for it. And as you can see, I use these same columns from the first building into this one. I really like these. A lot of the era buildings would have had these type of columns and this over the top kind of carnival garish mess. That's one of the pieces. I really liked the sundial behind it, but I did not like the clown face. I felt like the clown face was cool, but it was a little bit too much for what I was looking for. I may find a way to work it in later if I do like a funhouse ride or something. But as of the filming of this, I was like, no, it's just a little too much for what I'm aiming for. So I will kind of make my own design across the top, but I don't know. I may go back and add to it later. That's the good thing about this game, is I can always go back and add to it and work it and retool it a little bit if I want to. Because if I want to add that effect in there, I can. And I really like these metal pieces, but they just did not fit. There needed to be some straight pieces that go with those. When they put the pack out, they give us those great curved pieces, but they didn't give us the actual straight pieces to match it. So I'll have to figure out how I want to use those. I just haven't figured it out yet. So I'm building the top of it right now. This is, again, just the main entry. This is not the park. This is just the main entry gate that I'm working on. And I will tell you that building this main entry gate, because again, I'm not like a master builder or anything by any means, but this main building gate, I think it took me about an hour and a half to almost 2 hours to completely get it to where I felt comfortable with it. And of course, as I play throughout the park, I'll probably retool it, retweak it a little more as I progress to make it fit a little better, because I may change the way something looks or how it feels. So that'll probably happen at some point. I may add to it or take away from it, just depending on how I feel about the situation. So, and this is where I'm trying to figure out what I want to put on the top. Again, these entry gates, if you look at things like, I believe it was Luna Park, or the ones that are, I think the Luna Park is also in Australia as well, but that's the one that has the big clown face, and a lot of the pier parks from that turn of the century era style park, they do have this over the top feel to them, and so that's what I was just aiming for. So here I am putting on some of these lights. I think these lights are fantastic. They fit really, really well with the theme, because all of these railway parks and these turn of the century parks are going to have a lot of these twinkle lights on the structures, typically outlining the main lines of them. It's just real popular for that time frame. And you can see right there, I really was confused. I screwed up big time. I copied those and did not move them. I just moved the one set. So I made a big screw up, and I had to go back and fix it. You'll also notice I move these roofs a lot. The roofs get in the way. And I should have known that, because as I progressed, I will move them probably 5 or 6 times, because they get in my way when I'm trying to work and get everything put together. And I'm sure somebody out there that's watching this is probably going, but your wires on your lights don't line up. Well, you know what? They may not line up in real life either. In real life, there may have been a plug there. Who knows? So that's why they don't line up all the time. So they're not perfect. But I never said I was. I'm no master builder, as I said. I only do this typically because I like doing it. I don't normally share what I build, but I figure why not? It gives me something to showcase that I love, and I love building these things, even though not many people ever see them. So here I'm fighting with the roof and the lights again. You can see one of the roofs is already gone. I'm trying my darndest to get it to work easily. That did not happen. So I'm having to manually adjust the lights one at a time. And as much as I wanted this to be all perfect, even, symmetrical, it did not work out that way at all. So like you see, I just moved them, and you would think copying and pasting on the same size and square would fit, but no, it did not. So it is completely crooked, no matter how you go about it. And so it took some adjusting. I didn't realize this at first, so I had to go back in and readjust the cables, because looking at it from a distance, up close you don't notice it too bad, I don't think, but when I was further away, you could clearly tell one of the light wires was much lower than the others, so I had to go back in, readjust them all so that they were all the same height, because it was driving me nuts. And that was my big problem right there. I just could not stand the fact that those lights were not all together. So, but I did like how they were coming together. So once I got them somewhat sorted, I did go out. I will go back to fix the ones on the left. I know they're really janky, but I'll fix them, I promise. So right now I'm trying to put lights around the arch here. I struggle with this again because to me, for some reason, I feel like everything should just connect on the first try, but it doesn't work that way. So you have to literally go in and readjust over and over and over and over and over. And so this is what I'm doing. So I'm readjusting these little lights over and over. That's as close as I could get them. So I left it and just copied and pasted them to the other side. They look fine in the daylight. There was me attempting to use some of the other lights to try to jazz it up a little. Ended up not doing that. I really didn't like how those were turning out. Also, that lamp right there is so not on the pole that it's ridiculous. So I will have to fix that later. I'm pretty sure I fixed it already, but I cannot remember, to be honest. I filmed all this, or recorded all this while I was just about ready for bed, because I do work a full-time job. And so I filmed this after I ate dinner, and I was sitting there, and I sat there for like 2.5 hours filming this and trying to get it ready. These pieces that I just put in, I absolutely love. Those are like billboards, vintage style billboards from the pack that came, the vintage DLC, and I absolutely love them. I think they're amazing little posters, and I wanted to put them on the inside because I think of Disney when I think of going through the main gate under the train railroad bridge, and under the train station. You see those vintage posters of the attractions, so I went ahead and put those in there, and thought about using them. So trying to use these lighted arches. I really like these lighted arches. I really like the way they look. Unfortunately, they did not fit into my current theme or size, so I scrapped them. I'm sure I'll get to use them again later on, possibly on the pier, etc. But I just didn't. I didn't feel the need to put them in here right now. They felt a little too forced to fit for me. So right now I'm actually just going ahead and putting in the new planters. I went ahead and put in some planters here, put in some flowers that match the structure itself. This part I could have done back in the park if I really wanted to, but I kind of got caught up in the moment. Let's just be honest. I really liked putting in the planters, and I like doing the gardens and stuff when I do this game. That's one of my favorite things, and I am notorious for using a lot of trees. I will put trees when I build my own parks. I will put tons and tons and tons of trees into the park itself. So I'm saving the blueprint. This is kind of important right here. I am saving the blueprint and actually uploading it to the workshop. So the Planet Coaster Workshop, I actually uploaded this already to the Planet Coaster Workshop. So if you're interested in it, if you like it for whatever reason, or if you have any suggestions that I can modify it, please let me know, and I will definitely modify it, a little bit so that it look better, or if you think anything on that. But so I did go ahead and put it in the workshop, and it is under my username, which is That Guy Matt, all one word. Pretty easy to remember. I don't even remember why I picked that username, to be honest. I wish I could change it, but can't. So, also these letters. Let's talk about these letters. Let's talk about them. I absolutely love these letters. These letters are amazing. I love the fact they're lighted, they're big, they look really great at night. I love the fact they're recolorable so they can match my theme. I loved everything about these letters. And I had to use them. And I know everybody that's doing a pier park of some sort is going to use them because it's 1000%, to that era. But that's pretty much it right there. That's the kind of finished look. I'm checking it out, making sure it all looks okay. I'm going to do some final touches here, add some of the additional trim pieces on. I need to go back and add some trim to the top of it as well. I just haven't done it. So I'll probably do that eventually as I go through. So what I did there is just saved it for myself. That's my template. The one I put on the workshop, I did not include the logo, the name on it. So if you want to add your own name, you can. This is me. I told you that building would come back to haunt us. So I just moved it over to the side because, like I said, I may use it again. And this is definitely me struggling with the path system. I was having some issues trying to figure out how I wanted the path to be. Because originally I did not want you to just walk right into the park. I wanted to have a little bit of something between there and the park. And I may even move it further again later on. There we go. I really messed up on this one. I did not save the blueprint properly. So I had to go back, reload the blueprint, and do it again. There we go. I saved it without the words on it, and I was kind of ill. So I had to go back. So now I've got the blueprint. I'm going to re-flatten everything out around the edge of the water. And I'm going to go back into getting my life together so that I can make my pier look better. Originally, this is what I'm doing here. And this is, the reason why I put the path around the entire lake was actually just so that I could have a straight edge on the lake when I was building it. The part of that other path that was running parallel to it over to the side, originally I was going to put the entry point to the pier over onto the far left and then rearrange it over, but I ended up not doing that. I ended up going with just the standard opening there, and I may add a little bit to it on the outside of the park just to give it a little more flair. There we go, sink in that. And look, I feel really good about that. I took away all the bordered edges, because I'm going to pretty much line everything with flower gardens anyway. And so that's what I'm working on now. But if you are a player and you know this game very well, you know I made a big, huge mistake. Now, keep in mind, I'm filming all this, and I normally don't film it. I normally just build for myself. It's not something I normally show anybody. So if I screw up, nobody ever notices but me. And what I did is I did not put in the entry points. When I deleted the path, there is that piece, if you know the game, that allows you to let the guests in, the ticket booth, in the main entry gate. And if you notice in that shot, it's not there. And that is because I forgot to put it in there. I just got overexcited, I guess, and just deleted it and never put it back. And I realized that here in a minute, that I realized I made a huge mistake. And then I have to go back and redo it. And you'll notice here in just a second, I'll notice it. There it is. I was like, whoa, where is the entry? I was looking on the other side to see if it was there. This is a different clip. I accidentally stopped recording for just a moment. This is a different clip. I put the pieces in, and here's where I get to fight with them for the next 5 minutes because I had a dickens of time with the path already. Look, the path looks great, right? I got it done. I'm going to put down a wood floor as a part of the entry gate so that, you know, it looks themed. It looks like it fits with it. Looks pretty good. I don't really want to put anything in between the turnstiles. I might later on go back and tackle putting something in there. But as of right now, I really didn't see the need to put anything in there. So I skipped it. But so yeah, here's some of the additional I'm adding on to the entry plaza, if you will, of the pier. And just like with most pier parks, you know, it's not just a pier. You usually have other things around it. So I want it to look really nice. This is not going to be a vintage pier park that has aged poorly. I've seen a lot of other people creating parks that are, you know, oh, well, I'm going to show the park as, you know, it aged. And I don't really want to do that. I want it to look like it's from the era itself. So I am going to keep it in that clean, well put together, manicured look. Is what I'm going to keep going for. This pause right here, by the way, is probably either I got to go to the bathroom or got something to drink. I may have even been looking at references of buildings to kind of get an idea of what I wanted to build. Because I do want to put something in that spot, and I'm going to. And you'll see that here right now as I dig through all the wall pieces to find what I want. Everything will, for the most part, be built out of this painted wood wall. That's because pretty commonly everything's going to have been built out of this same material when the original Pier Parks and Boardwalks were built, because that would have been the majority of the supplies that were available. Plus it would have been cheaper and easier to dispose of in the event of you know, business going out and things like that, I guess. So this building, I will tell you in advance, do not finish this building in this episode. I started on it. Again, by the time I started on this building, it had already been playing for about 2 hours straight. 2 hours, yeah, 2 hours. I don't even know my words on math, apparently. And so by the time I started this, about 2 hours in, and I was headed into the third hour by the time I stopped on this one. And I was ready to stop it. It was already almost 11 o'clock at night. I have to be up in the mornings to go to work. And I was like, you know what? I'll just work on this later. So I was going to tackle this in the next episode. But I went ahead and started on it because I had a little extra time and I wasn't quite ready for bed. So I went ahead and started on it. And I got a pretty good chunk of the building done. Just some finishing touches need to be added to it to round it out and to give it a full thing. Alright, so I'm finishing up some of the touches here on this building now. Just trying to get everything completed out before the time runs out, because I do go to bed here in just a few minutes once I get all these pieces put together. This is something that I really just kind of threw this building together off the top of my head. I didn't really pull up a design or a pattern. I just kind of drew from the fact that, you know, a lot of the vendors here would have probably not been original to the park. They may have built their own buildings and just leased the space. So they may be a little bit different than the main theme or design, but they usually tried to build it within that restraint normally, but it may be just a little more garish or a little more flashier or gaudy, if you will. So I went ahead and took that into account. So as I'm wrapping up here, I'm getting the lights put on here in just a second. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting the windows and the flower pots put in. So while I'm doing that, I want to say thank you so much for making it through the video. I hope you like what you see and you enjoy the build that I've got going so far. I know it's not a lot to get started with just yet. Again, I'm not a master builder, but I am happy to be sharing some of my creations with the world, if you will. And again, if you're interested in that building, that arch there, the entry arch, it is on the workshop. It is under my username, That Guy Matt, and you're welcome to go ahead and download that there if you would like. I'd love to know somebody enjoyed it. If you have any comments or if you have any suggestions of what we can add to the park, what we can do together to make this park more productive or better themed, please let me know in the comments down below. As always, if you enjoy this video, make sure you give us a like so I know that you like it, and it also helps out the channel as well. And also, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe. This is not my main content. My normal content is, of course, travel videos and vlogs and things like that, but I'm really excited to be sharing something new. So I will see you guys on the next episode of Avalon Pier.